Hello everyone, Mark, Fractals and Forks on Thursday, January 11th, and I'll go over the DXY, Euro dollar, pound Kiwi, dollar yen, gold and silver, and Kiwi and Aussie. If there's anything else you want me to cover, then just tell me in the chat room here. So let's start with a monthly chart of the DXY, and you know, look, if this fork you know, is good because you know, lower parallel support, median line resistance, a gap away. I've been, you know, talking about this for like I don't know how long, and now we are going to close this month under the lower parallel. What does that mean? It's going to mean a breakdown, right? When it's going to happen, I don't know. I expect actually very soon. As you already noticed, you know, dollar yen is like on a bit of a tear. It hasn't broken 111 yet, but soon. So yeah, that's about it, what I wanted to talk about. The only thing is we're at the 23.6, so maybe a little bit of a bounce tomorrow, and then a bigger move down, and targets, well, obviously 84, which was the highs in 2013. That's the first, actually that's the first level of support that you can see. So it's going to be wild. Let's look at a weekly. You know, if you've seen the videos a couple of times, we're below the lower parallel here in this fork. As long as we stay below this median line, you know, go down. So this is the first target, and it's probably going to accelerate for a while. So this is February, end of February. I would expect us to be you know, around this level, which is also, and let me just so this level is the 2010 high. That would be like the first support, and if we look at it time wise, that would be, you know, third week of March. So there's a lot of downside to be expected. So, and keeping that in mind, and let's go to a daily. You know, I said on Sunday too, it's like, you know, we're going to consolidate between here and here, and then we're going to break down to the downside, and that's, you know, we're basically there. So wouldn't surprise me if it happens tonight during Asia or tomorrow, and I don't know any catalyst except and maybe at the end of the webinar I'll pull up the chart. The 30-year yields and on the treasuries and the 10 years, they're like, you know, screaming higher. So the dollar is pretty much screwed. Same pictures, of course, on the 4 hour. I thought I didn't like this chart, but in the end, you know, I mean, the extensions from this median line, they've been really nice, right? So look for downside, and an hourly. I really love this chart too. You know, we're screaming down, screaming up, and now we're screaming down, and we're basically at the support, and you know, with the strength of the move, there's definitely you know, gonna be a break. So that will be the theme also with euro dollar and pound dollar. We got to prepare to you know, take advantage of the dollar weakness and get long positions there. That's why I only wanted to talk about euro dollar at first, but so now you know why I actually wanted to only cover those two. Now let's zoom in a little bit. Where would be, you know, a move like this? Okay, some kind of retracement is usually, unless we're in like 2008 where everything was just, you know, going down or going up in a straight line, which has actually been for the last 2, 3, 4 hours. But if we wanna have a pullback here, so it'll be shallow. It'll be really shallow. So we're gonna keep that in mind when we look at I don't know where that sound came from. When we look at euro dollar and pound dollar. Okay, so let's go to euro dollar, number 2 on my list. So we got to make sure that I don't miss anything. I'll just take this circle away. You all know this chart, 2167, the 50% retrace of this move. That's what we've all been targeting, right? And I think that could happen in maybe hours or days. So let's go to a weekly, because what I want to do is, you know, drill down monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hours and 1 hour, and then define some kind of an entry to take advantage, you know, with a good risk reward to what I think is going to be a very, very strong weakness dollar move. So weekly chart, where, you know, this level, the September 2017 high, we tested it in January, in, what is it? Yeah, actually, was that the first week? Hang on. Yeah, that was on January 1st, right? So we tested this level, we pulled back. There was a bigger pullback here in the beginning of this week, and everybody, and including myself, you know, was looking at this weekly reversal level, 118.60. So that's why I was really focused on that, but I think I'm gonna have to abandon that idea because of the strong up move this week, and if we close higher here, it's going to be a really bullish hammer on the weekly. So that's why I think it's really time to get an entry and get on the euro dollar long side. So yeah, daily is basically telling you the same picture. I talked about this original fork, you know, from the beginning of the year. It's still valid. Support. Ideally, obviously, we would have touched it a third time here. You know, 1860 or below 119. So that's why I was focused on that. With the strong up move today, we're probably going to have to abandon that idea. So let's go to a 4 hour. So you get the idea, right? I mean, we're gonna try to pinpoint a level to get long with a stop, yeah, below 119. to be absolutely sure. Okay, or we can point to a level and, you know, take a stop. What would be support here? That would be 1970 or 1960. So your stop would have to be under that if it's not below 190. So on a 4-hour chart, I would say, you know, to get in, you know, this 4-hour reversal level is interesting, but I would say, you know, a closing low, 120.07, so let's call it 120.09 with the spread. That would be a level to that would also coincide with, on a 4-hour, in the next, oh, what is it, 1, 2, 3 candles, so in the next 8 to 12 hours, that would coincide right here on this sliding parallel. So right here, 120.09, keep that in mind. So that would be a nice long if, well, first of all, if we get there, and if it, you know, it should not go a lot lower though, because real support would be just under 120. So you could try with a 30 pip, 40 pip stop. If we go lower than that, then we're probably gonna go to this 50 line, because that also has been, you know, kind of a pivot and support here, and maybe we'll test that again. That's probably the same thing on an hourly, daily or an hourly reversal level. You know, I mean, hourly up, and this is called, with the second, I don't know how to explain all this, but you know, we come to the same levels. So it's 120.03 and 120.07. So you know, if we get an entry here, that would cover those two support levels, and hopefully we'll just, you know, go down here and zoom up. Okay, so next, pound. And pound was, you know, really crazy today too. So what's happening on a monthly? Yeah, we broke this trend line, and that was actually, you know, the sign. Okay, pound could be ready for the next up move. So broke through it. Excuse me. Tested the trend line again, and we're still up on the month. On a weekly, yeah, let me zoom out first. Well, you know, this fork wasn't really a trend line, but I showed you the trend line on the monthly. Let's zoom in. We got a trend line here with only one touch, but anyway, seemed to have been resistance here. We broke through it. We tested it this week, so you gotta look to the upside. And I know Andy has fractals for downside. It's always possible, you know. I mean, this level, 130, what is it, 133.58 hasn't been tested yet. If you know, on the weekly, we go to a weekly reversal support level, that would be at 133.58. So keep that level in mind. If you know, whatever I'm saying with the dollar, if that's not panning out, then you have to, probably not next week, but in 2-3 weeks, if we go down there, that's a level to keep front and center. So on a daily, yeah, I put this here yesterday. I don't know if I went over pound yesterday. I guess I didn't. So I expected, you know, this sliding parallel, although it hasn't really been perfect, pitch perfect, but what is with a pound pair, you know, with overthrows and everything. But the thing is, we're closing above the 2018 open again, so we haven't closed below it yet. So that's pretty important. That also gives me you know, conviction that we're probably never going to close under the 2018 open again. On a 4-hour, entry wise, 4-hour reversal level is right here. So 135.25. If we get there, you know, after the market closes or during Asia, along from here, and you know, you should never forget simple trend lines. And let me draw that. You know, this is 1, 2, 3 touches, could be important, or you could say, you know, go long after the trend line's broken and retest it, and then go long. So that's pound. And targets, well, 138 obviously. I don't know, on a weekly, I haven't really put targets, but you know, first of all, the median line obviously, which is 136, and the high here 136.59, and you know, if we get above the median line, then you got to look at this parallel, and that will come in around 138 towards the end of the month. Do we really have to look at it? I don't even know. On an hourly, no, I deleted everything here. The only thing, you know, simple trend lines. So approximately this. So risk is still, you know, a drop into 134s, but that should be about it. Then next on my list, pound NZD, for myself and for others that are playing it. This has been a pain, and I thought this would hold, so it's not holding. I don't know, next levels, real support on a monthly, you can't really define support here, except maybe for the, it's a 13. I changed it to a 13 instead of a 12, but for other charts. But there could be still some significant downside, right? 184, 20s, something like that is still possible on a weekly. And the thing also is, you know, I mean, has the Kiwi, and let me look, what is it? 172.59. That thing is just freaking crazy. Is that done going up? Yes or no? That's the whole question. Oh yeah, one more thing. We looked at the DXY, and there's, you know, some people that say, oh yeah, but the DXY is going up and or down, and I'm like, yeah, well, what does that have to do with the Kiwi or the Aussie actually? Because they are not in the dollar index. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Look at Wikipedia so you know what the dollar index actually is, and it's 57.6% euro. All the rest is you know, negligible basically. Although obviously if, you know, the dollar is weak against the euro, it will spill over to all the rest, and also to the Aussie and the Kiwi. But please don't mention the DXY if you're talking about Aussie or Kiwi, because that just doesn't make sense. All right, where were we? Yes, let's look at Kiwi on a daily, and you know, we lost the support. Pure and simple, we lost support. So it wasn't only because it looks like we're going to close below it. It wasn't only here on a horizontal level with the highs of September and yeah, of September, but also if you look at a line chart, you know, closing prices, we are if we close below this, we're closing below the 2017 highs here, or temporary highs before we went to the upside. So either this is, you know, to get everybody out and have no longs anymore, or we're going down and lower than 85.34 probably, because then the 200, the daily 200 comes into play, which could coincide with a lower parallel here. And then we're at 84.25, what I said on the monthly chart. So 84.25, yeah, that's probably gonna happen. Of course, with dollar pound strength, and is Kiwi done or not? So it's a bit iffy, this pair. All right. So I don't have to go to 4 hours and hourly on this. This should tell you enough. It's done. Don't stop playing it long, I guess. Yeah, I just want to see the close, and then I'll get out of the position. Then dollar yen. Also, let's drill down from a monthly. We're at support 111.07, and what was the low today? Oh, I don't have it here. How do I high low? Yeah, I closed a bunch of windows. The low was 111.04. Anyway, close enough. We're at support now. So also I would be looking at a pullback and get short again, and targets 108 on a monthly here. You know, just simple fibs. 108.72, and why not 106.37? Wouldn't be surprised to see that. On a weekly, come on, Yes, there it is. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I deleted all this too. Oh no, I didn't. It's just slow. Weekly charts, you know, the sliding parallels don't have any forks on here, but the sliding parallels have been instrumental in support and resistance, as you will see on the daily also. We reached the first target without me, because I think I closed one, had a nice entry this morning, a pending, and put it to break even too fast, and yeah. So we're at support again. What are we gonna do? It would be nice if we could, you know, this is a weekly. I'm not gonna talk about a weekly. I'm just gonna look at the daily for if you're not in and not short, to get short. So this is a daily. You see the same parallels. Like I said, instrumental. We broke it. We broke the daily reversal support that I thought, you know, would work yesterday. Even though we went through it and we actually closed below it yesterday. But this parallel, you know, was resistance yesterday. That was a really nice entry. So what are we looking at now? It's going to be Friday. So Fridays is always moves don't spill over into Fridays generally. So dollar yen weakness tomorrow is like, I don't know, maybe. Let's go to a 4-hour chart, and I would say resistance 111.42, you know, with a pullback, and if we go down, so yeah, 111.42, keep that in mind. Next on the list, silver. What is that thing doing? 1697, still same. Hasn't been doing much, you know. It was just a little spill down and then got retraced almost immediately. Silver is still up for the month and hasn't broken, you know, last month's close yet. Well, maybe with 1 or 2 cents, but this is important. So on a monthly, we tested the 13 MA, and this what is it? Let me see. Oh, whoops. Oh yeah, it's something I drew. Yeah, because of this low. It's so difficult sometimes. There you go. So it just, you know, it touches this low and it touches this high here. That's why I drew it. So we got to get, first of all, above this month, above the 13 MA, which is at 1716. I close below, and then you know, silver is bullish and is even more bullish than gold, in my opinion. Silver on a weekly, really nice fork, support here. The 55, I always look at the 55 weekly average on weekly charts. The 55 moving average, I meant. Yeah, it would have been nice if that was support, but it wasn't. Okay, but and the fact that we made a lower low isn't really something I like, but we're not going to close below it. That's already a good thing. Well, maybe. Let's see how the week ends. Then on a daily, 200 MA, still supporting 3 days in a row. Until then, and especially also with this, you know, horizontal line on the RSI, it seems that we're turning. Let's wait for the close, and you know, if we have an update tomorrow, then this level, RSI level, could be important. Quick look at the 4 hour with the trend line. We broke it, but we're not going to close below it, I don't think. But we'll look at gold too, and maybe gold is, since it couldn't really get above above 1324, and yeah, it could be that gold is falling a little bit more, and Andy has the fractals for it, and obviously it will drag down silver too. So look for silver. Just look at gold to get long silver, but you have to get long silver. That's all there's to it. Where it's gonna be, yeah, this fork, I mean, it really found the lows. So, you know, if there's gonna be a retest, it's gonna be on this upper parallel. Where will it be? I don't know, but horizontally, you know, it could be 1675 or something over the next few days. Yeah. All right, then Kiwi. So hate that pair now, because I'm not on the right side anymore. So the target here on the monthly, it was already taken out. What's the next thing on a monthly chart? You know, parallels. I like parallels. Let me adjust this one because it has to be precise for me. So it could be we go to this parallel, which would also be this monthly level. So 73.25 maybe. Do think the move for the Kiwi is overdone. I'm surprised we haven't heard anything from the RBNZ yet to try to talk it down. That is weird. But until then, yeah. So on a weekly, hang on, gotta have a sip of beer. Ah, yes, good. Yeah, so weekly chart, I know, messy, and I still haven't cleaned it up, but let's zoom in. The target that I had taken out, this parallel, it's just, let me zoom out a little bit. You know, was a low here, and since then it hasn't really been, you know, support or resistance. Maybe here, but so we're not gonna take this into account. I just like to keep it on there because I want to know where it is. So levels wise, I got nothing. I got nothing on a weekly. If you want to, you know, look at a hang on, let me make this clearer. So if you want to look at a fib, we're almost there. So that's 26, right? Let me put it on the other side. Yeah, that's not working either. On the right side. So 72.61. That's a 618. I think, Andy, that's why you got the 59. So I don't know why we have different levels, or if I go to different time frames, I've got different fib levels, which is weird. But I guess the high was 72.62 today, this week. So maybe, oh, it's pulling back from there. Yes. Well, could be interesting. Could be really interesting. So would that have been it for Kiwi? I really hope so. Interesting. All right. Oh, there we go. Oh, I had this target here. I really have to look at higher time frame charts more often. So time wise, I had it here because of this 25 line. Interesting, because that could really mean that we're definitely in for a good pullback. You know, support 71.83 and maybe something like this on this sliding parallel. I mean, you gotta stay bullish, Kiwi. If only for the yield differential. They're not going to raise until 2019. I know that, but the Fed, I have no idea what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to raise 3 times this year. I don't see that happening. Okay, quick look at the 4-hour chart. Oh, I'm actually really flabbergasted about that 62 level, 61.8. Yeah, I posted this chart a few times today and it kept going higher. So yeah, maybe I should have put this level on here. Oh, it was a different one. Yeah, anyway. Now, there's one thing I have to say. Knowing Kiwi, and if, or let me put it this way. Yeah. Okay. So that's the reason why I didn't zoom out enough, because, you know, fibs, high, lows, and all that stuff. The only thing I have to say is that Kiwi likes the 786. So you know, let's not get too excited yet about this 61.8, but Kiwi really likes 786. Yeah. And that's a nice level too here, you know. I mean, support here, resistance here, if you think away the spike. So after a pullback, which I hope is coming, don't be surprised we go higher to the 786 and then have a bigger pullback. Okay, and then let's look at Aussie, and then I'll see if anybody has a question in the room, if they're still listening and haven't fallen asleep, or whatever. Aussie, you got to stay bullish on a monthly. You know, I mean, we've only we've only gotten started, right? I mean, 3 touches on the lower parallel. It's time to go up, and you know, the first level would be 95. Yeah. So on a weekly, same picture, weekly reversal resistance at 79.99, so let's call it 80. Relentless 5 weeks up, that hasn't happened since, like, never, probably. Oh yeah, last time was here, and then it went up 6 weeks in a row. So either one more week up into the 80 level and then some retrace, or some retrace here because of this sliding parallel, which kind of, you know, was a pivot of support and resistance over the last year. Okay, I don't think that anybody is interested in trading the Aussie itself right now. Oh, and you know, don't think the euro is going up, that the Aussie is going up more. They tend to, there is no correlation. 4-hour resistance, obviously, which I drew a while ago. So let's hope we're pulling back, right? Because as I said in the chat room yesterday too, that's what I'm thinking. If the Aussie has topped and finally reached this level, and it goes and it takes a breather, that should take the Kiwi down a little bit too. It's down 10 pips. Wow, unbelievable. Okay, so that was it. Any questions in the room? Going once, going twice. If not, I'm gonna get this video posted. And oh, of course, Aussie NZD. I made a whole list and I forgot to write it down. Yes. Oh, I can't believe it. That would be the second time I forgot. Okay, so let's do monthly, weekly, and so on. Yeah, lost, well, didn't really lose support, but I was thinking we wouldn't go down this low. What do I mean with support? You know, the September and the October candles. So this level, the reversal, was support here. We haven't reached it, but if we get there, that should be very strong support too. So that's 108.60. So that should be very strong support. If not, then, you know, lower parallel, 13 MA. Yeah. Weekly. We're here, support. That's why I drew this in red. I mean, this fork and this sliding parallel has been instrumental in support and resistance. So support here, well, here not so much, but if you look at here, 1, 2, 3, 4 times yet now. I wanted to say yet. Okay. So support. We should be turning here. We should. On a weekly chart. So with Friday tomorrow, that's a possibility. And then, you know, we always get wicks on weekly charts. So we'll get a wick and then we'll see what happens on Monday, because does it need a test of the lower parallel now that we, you know, we lost the symmetry here between the two pink lines? Will it want the lower parallel and the 55 MA? Maybe. And that could be around, you know, low 108s. That's a possibility. So Aussie Kiwi on a daily, yes. So the same thing, you know, we lost the symmetry that was here and here. We went up here. This should have held. It didn't. Then this should have held, and it didn't. And right now we're, I don't know, we're somewhere. If I had to draw a sliding parallel, I would do it here from these lows, and that would coincide with the 200. If we go down there, that's 108.34. Okay, so know that level. Not that the 200, well, it was resistance here, but we've been too far away from it for so many days that I doubt that, you know, I mean, the same distance from here, maybe the same distance from here, a little bit lower, and then upside. That's possibility. Let's look at a 4-hour. I'm constantly watching it, obviously, because I've got a few positions. I won't elaborate. Yes, 4-hour. That's what I prepared actually on here. You know, a 4-hour chart, and we're definitely at a level, you know, that could be support. And why is that? So you see, you know, these two horizontal lines. Let's start from here. Resistance, you know, in this area. Going down, tried it again, down, and then zoomed through it. Went back to it, up, went back to it, and up. Here, not the lower one was support, but the upper one. And on top of that, the trend line is not really precise, you know. I mean, I could, well, if I drew it from here, so the real low on a line chart, you know, so this is the low, touches the low here, touches the low here on candles. We broke it a little bit today, but you know, so we could be at support. It's a possibility. That would make sense. 1 touch, 2 touches, 3, 4, 5, 6, a lot of them, right? And you know how much I like on a 4-hour chart if RSI 40 holds. We haven't closed yet, have we? Well, almost. Well, then it didn't hold. So that's not really good. I like a 40 hold, but we're at 36. So we're gonna have to see. But yeah, 108.69. Take along against that and hope for the best, and otherwise I think we'll go lower. And this line would also coincide with all the rest that we looked at on the monthly and the weekly. This 108.26 or 108.30, right? Okay, that was it. Thank you very much for listening, and I won't do this tomorrow, but on the weekend, and have a fun day trading, and be good. Bye.